All right, well, Idaho was hit hard by dry conditions last year. It's one of the worst when it comes to severe drought seasons, with impacts being felt across the entire state. Farmers had irrigation water shut off early. Low river flow affected irrigation or recreation and wildlife.
And without rain or snow falling, we use the water in our reservoirs. Since we tapped into that emergency supply, it's running especially low. Meteorologist Sophia Bliss explains what we need to see to get those levels up.
2021 brought historic drought conditions to Idaho. So what about this year?
It looks like in the short term, we're going to start heading back toward drought.
This fall and winter, we've been seesawing between very wet months and relatively dry months. October, lots of rain. November, bone dry. December, 7th snowiest December on record. January, we started off with a wetter pattern, but then dried out. The combined effect of all of that, we're still in a drought.
Getting out of a drought requires a variety of things that need to go right. We need precipitation, we need cold temperatures to keep the snow from melting in the mountains, and we need gradual warm-ups in the spring. There are other factors too, but those are some big ones.
Our current systems to capture water, like dams and reservoirs, work best when we stay within historical norms. So let's say we have a historic heat wave in February. It melts a lot of the snow and water heads to reservoirs. Sounds fine, right? Early start to spring doesn't sound so bad. Well, if reservoirs fill up too much, we'll have to release water downstream so the dam doesn't overflow. Or let's say it rains on the mountain snow. Similar outcome.
There's a large rain on a snow event and all the water comes at once and we aren't able to capture it all. That isn't good for the system.
Once released, that water will no longer be available to use in hotter, drier months. Reservoirs are like savings accounts. Ideally, water will be there when we need it. We depend on that water for irrigation and for supplying cities. Factors like snowpack and reservoir levels set the stage for what we'll see in warmer months. The amount of water locked in our snowpack is looking pretty good, with most areas seeing around 100%. Those areas are in green. The areas in light blue have at least 110%. But for our reservoirs, it's a much different picture. We're seeing very low levels. The Boise River system includes Anderson Ranch, Arrow Rock, and Lucky Peak reservoirs. That entire system is only at 40% of capacity. The key to getting those numbers back up will be making sure we can capture as much snow melt as possible, especially with a drier outlook ahead.
It only takes a couple big storms and you get a boost. So if we were to get to March, we could easily get a storm that would take us up to normal. And then a few small snowstorms and we'd be good to go. But if we dry out, we flatline, and then you don't end up with a wet spring, that's kind of the bad scenario we're keeping our eye on.
So now we'll see if 2022 will bring even more historic drought conditions than 2021. For Idaho's News Channel 7, I'm meteorologist Sophia Bliss.
And remember, we're in the second year of a La Nina pattern, and for our area, in every back-to-back La Nina year, the past 30 years, the second one usually drier.
Yeah, we've been saying we need precipitation for so long, but it's interesting to learn it's not just precipitation, it's the rate at which that water is released.
When it comes, yep.
Exactly. So if we do dry out, the water in our reservoirs could be really critical for the months ahead.
From News Channel